So it's basically the beginning of July, and we're going into the fourth month of the coronavirus pandemic. And it's been an incredible 4 months. I know because you lived through it with me. A few months ago, I had the incredible Vicki Shillington on the show. If you remember, and I'll put it in the show notes, you should go back and listen. Vicki talked about the three stages of a crisis. The chaos stage, where we're hit with the unexpected, we're scrambling for resources, our allostatic load, that level of stress is really high. We're in fight or flight, we're running on adrenaline and excitement, we're solving problems, and we're trying to figure out childcare, and we're trying to figure out how to work from home, and we're trying to figure out finances. People are getting sick, all that stuff. The chaos stage, where we move through that into the acceptance stage. Again, there was a lot of pain. The lines at the food banks were tremendously long, just frighteningly long, people losing their lives. But we seemed to think that there was an arc that we were going to go through. So we were settling into, okay, July, August, September, we're going to actually start coming out of this thing. So we can just kind of keep this going. We can homeschool. We can be with our kids. Our kids will go back to school in September. People were being iffy about it, but we were pretty sure, that we were going back, and travel was going to be back. And then we were going to go into the new normal. So Vicki talked about the chaos, the acceptance, and then the new normal. And in the new normal, it's when things start to get to workable again, and we all start to go back to work. We start to go back to restaurants. We start to go back to the gym. Jobs come back, and we have to decide what we want to bring forth into the new normal, because we knew things were going to change. People's views were going to change, and all that. What happened was a little bit different. So we're right now in the beginning of July, and what we thought was going to be the turning point where things were going to be safer, and we were going to start turning on the economy in a intelligent fashion. Again, now your politics may get into this conversation, but we're going to go with my take on this because it's my podcast. We're starting to open up the country, but the caseload is rising, and it's rising at an alarming rate. The different parts of the country are much more hotspots than the Eastern Seaboard, New York and Washington D.C. And Seattle, and the places that were the hotspots. The rest of the country is now seeing skyrocketing caseloads. But we're still opening up. We're not following the guidelines from the CDC, which, whether you believe the guidelines in the CDC were good or not, we're still not following them, which adds a layer of stress. So we were supposed to go through chaos. We were supposed to go through acceptance. And then we were going to come out of this in a new normal with some guidelines and best practices for opening, with the caseloads going down, taking care of the elderly and the people who were in most vulnerable. But now what I see is that we are opening up. So restaurants and bars are open, gyms are open, travel is open. American Airlines, and I think it's United Airlines, are doing 3 people to a row now. So the middle seat is taken. So people are out there while the caseloads are rising. And businesses are coming back to the office. People are going back into the office, and we're starting to make decisions as if things were safe. Now, some people are being really, really cautious and smart. Other people are being a little bit reckless. Again, all my opinion. But the financial hardship is almost as devastating as the virus itself. So I totally get that we are balancing a bunch of tough choices here. All of that aside, what we're dealing with now is a level of stress that is equal to what happened at the beginning in the chaos. Only now we have history. Now we're tired. Now we've been dealing with our children being at home for 3 months. Now we're dealing with our elderly parents either getting sick and dying, or getting sick and staying sick, or being isolated. We're dealing with the effects of being in our relationships and not being able to get away from each other, of not being able to go to the gym and exercise. We're dealing with the effects of the financial stress for the last 3 months. So even if we're going back to work, even if things are coming back to some semblance of normal, there's plenty of toilet paper and we can go to the stores and we get that we're going to use our masks and we're going to use our hand sanitizers. The level of stress is not what we expected. And in me talking to my clients and in talking to people all over the place, I'm seeing that this chaos, this it wasn't supposed to be this way. We were getting ready for how it was supposed to be. It's not that way. So it's treacherous to go out and decide how you're going to go out to work, where you're going to go. Are you going to go to a restaurant? Are you only going to eat outside? Are you going to eat inside? Are you going to wear a mask? Or are you not going to wear a mask? All of those things. Are you going to travel? Like, are you finally going to travel? Are you going to go see your elderly parents? Uh, Organizations are trying to decide, how are they going to deal with people coming back to work? Do we only have people coming back half time and have alternating days? They're thinking about schools having alternating days. We don't. So the bottom line is, we don't know. We are in such uncertainty now. We don't know. So here's the point of all this. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. My conversations feel like broken records. I feel like I'm just saying the same things over and over and over again. We can't deal if we don't take care of ourselves. We can't make good decisions if we don't take care of ourselves. And we will be freaking miserable if we don't take care of ourselves. And that can mean different things for different people. I was watching a TED talk of a woman who talked about her business and how she learned to meditate. And then she was centered and she was good and her business exploded. And then she forgot about meditation and her business started to get chaotic again. And then she started meditation and put a meditation room in her office, and it was really a boring TED talk. And that's what I'm afraid I sound like here, but it's so important. I end every one of these podcasts with, please remember to drink water. Please remember to rest. You've got to put the oxygen mask on yourself. You just absolutely have to put your oxygen mask on yourself. We are not through this thing. Your allostatic load, that stress level, is still high. It may even be higher than in the beginning because you have no reserves. When you're going back, when you're talking to your people, I've been coaching the different leaders in that are my clients in high empathy, in checking on their people. How are you doing? How are you really doing? How is your family? Um, that's as important or more important now as you start to open things up. We now have 3 months of history of people being stuck with their families, of people homeschooling children, and now they don't see an end in sight. We have people, you don't know if people have lost people, if they've died, if they're taking care of someone sick. You don't know what the history is in the last 3 months. So as you're turning on your organizations, as you're going back into the world, everybody that you meet, you don't know what their story is. Find out what their story is. Instead of asking, hey, how you doing? Really, how are you? How is your family? How's your mental state? It's okay to be a little intrusive now. We all need it. So I'm reiterating in this particular podcast, if you get one thing out of this, it is so important to take care of yourself. If I could get you to meditate, ground yourself, and center yourself, I talk about this in regular times. If I could get you to journal and do all the things that I talk about all the times now, it'll pay dividends. With the chaos out in the world, your inner world needs to be more orderly, as orderly as possible. So talking to people, making sure you're talking to friends. I'm talking to so many people who have just put less and less effort, because who wants to be on Zoom anymore, into connecting with people. Connect with people, find out how they are. And then the other shortcut is go do something kind for someone. Go bring some food to someone, go drop off some food at a food bank, go volunteer somewhere, where, and be safe. Don't get yourself out of yourself. So I'm stumbling over this because I'm really trying to figure out how to get out to everybody that it's just not how we expected it. And it's okay. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be confused. It's okay to feel that level of uncertainty and scatteredness, because that's the truth of what's going on. The Black Lives Matter movement in the middle of all this, the politics in the middle of all this, it's insane. So please, please, please take care of yourself. If you put the oxygen mask on yourself, you'll be able to take care of your family. You'll be able to take care of your organizations, and you'll come out of this so much better. Hope this was useful. This is more of a heartfelt plea than a podcast. I love you guys tremendously. I know what you deal with every single day, and if I can just give you a little hope and a little strength, then it's worth it for me to use this microphone in that way. Um, I love you, appreciate you, and I wish you to take care of yourself and have a great rest of the day.